Hello, everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land. It is me again. I have darkened your I have darkened your browser once again. Let's see. On the political side of things, I'm really liking Greg Orman right now. It's not that the Republicans and the Democrats aren't good enough, but I don't think they're doing enough, because all the rest of them are just mudslinging toward each other. It's stupid. I mean, I was watching a commercial for Sam Brownback or whatever, and they were talking about Paul Davis and bringing up the fact that he went to a strip club back in 1998. And bringing that up now in 2014, that was how many years ago? Yeah. I'm not gonna trust him for something he did. I'm not gonna trust him for going to a gentleman's club or a strip club almost 20 years ago. We're talking 15, 16 years ago now. How is going to a strip club 16 years ago pertinent to him running for office right this second? Yeah, he went. They were doing a drug bust. He didn't get arrested for it, apparently. Otherwise, they would have made a big ruckus about that. Now, having said that, it's mudslinging at its dumbest. Right now, everything that Paul Davis and Greg Orman have been saying, for the most part, not everything, for the most part, everything they're saying is true. 100% true. If they're saying something about Brownback, it's normally going to be true. He has cut educational funding. He has dropped the ball. And then there's the issue with the then there's these Pat Roberts and Sam Brownback, whatever, all these ads for Orman being able to vote for Obama. Well, do you ever think that maybe Obama has a better idea what to do than half the idiots who have been serving for more than 10, 15 years? Everybody who's just so mad at Obama, you have no right to be. If you're a hardcore Republican, tough shit. I mean, really, tough shit. He's the president. Unless enough people get together to have him thrown out of office, guess what's not going to happen? He's going to stay in office. Whether you like it or not, I don't care what your issue is with him. If he stays in office, there's obviously a reason. Everybody who doesn't want him in office, I mean, everybody's saying the same thing about Clinton and Bush in the reverse order, how they serve. But when I was in high school, everybody wanted to get Bill Clinton the hell out of office, and I've since met quite a few people who like Bill Clinton. I didn't. I thought he was the worst president pretty much ever. Bush seemed to be a good president. He may not have been a very good president, but he seemed like a good president at the time. Towards the end of his presidency, yes, we all realized he was a piece of crap. That goes without saying after learning all we have. Those of you who say, well, I told you so, well, you were probably going for a Democrat, and at the time, I wasn't an independent. I was a Republican. Up until Obama came up to office, I had been a Republican. And I cannot in good conscience stay with a party that is branched off into at least one more whole spectrum, the Tea Party. Republicans, that's you. The Tea Party was doing things that I don't agree with. They're over-unionizing, over-utilizing, over-striking, bitching about things that they themselves can change. And plus, most of the Tea Partiers are now, 50, 60, and 70 years old? And these are people who should be retiring. Oh, I need the money. I had to pay for my grandkids' college. That's your responsibility? No. Your responsibility isn't to pay for your kids and your grandkids' college. You paid for your kids. Your kids pay for your grandkids. Okay, that's the way it works. You're not supposed, unless you have sole custody, or you've been taking care of them all their lives, not helping, but literally being mommy and daddy their entire lives, you don't know them anything. And if you're their grandparents, what's wrong with making them work for it? It teaches independence, intestinal fortitude. There's a number of things. And then on the job market issue, yeah, we're done with the politics for the moment. Job market numbers say that unemployment is down. Well, that also means that a lot of people have stopped applying for unemployment because they can't get their breaks. Let's see. Then me and the wife volunteered at the Pride Festival, and the Pride Festival didn't go. It went pretty well, but there were still some mistakes. And the sad part is the mistakes that went happen at the Pride Festival weren't readily noticeable. The biggest problem we had was at one point I pointed out to 3 or 4 different people, all of who were higher up than me. I'm a Joe Schmo volunteer. I do the heavy lifting and get it done quick. I pointed out to people who actually matter and get things done, you know, who make the decisions and whatnot. I asked them what was going on. I had them look out the window, and they see, 10, 15, 20 volunteers doing nothing. They're standing around talking while there's like maybe 10 volunteers actually doing something. Knock it off, you two. I don't know about you. I don't know about the rest of you, or if the Wichita Pride will be watching this video, but there's no need to have 20 volunteers sitting around doing nothing. If people are showing up so they can get a button or a shirt or get in for free, using the buttons and the shirts as volunteers and then taking them off after like an hour or two of work, why are they there? Why are they allowed in the building? If they're not going to put a shirt on and get to work, why are they there? They're just wasting space, waiting for stuff to start. That way they can be there in for free. It doesn't work like that. Okay? It does not. If you're going to volunteer, volunteer. Mind you, I put up tables and chairs at Wichita Pride. I also ended up helping out with the drag queen stage. And that's because we had 20 minutes to get the damn thing up, and apparently it wasn't being done in a timely fashion after 4 hours of being worked on. This is criminally stupid. Now, there's a guy there who was complaining a little too much, and then 2 other guys who had no idea what they were doing, except standing there looking like they knew what they were doing. All in all, the crowd was smaller. Yes, there were more sponsors, more vendors there, but the quality, I don't think the quality of the crowd was the same. And then on the last day, one of my own personal friends, Michael Judkins, he's my friend on Facebook. If he sees this and doesn't like it, well, I'll flip you the middle finger. That's how much I give a shit. There's a guy at the Pride Parade who lives at the same building as he does, who invited everybody at their building. You had 2 black guys, and this isn't to be racist, but these 2 young black guys are sitting there walking around with stuffed animals, and apparently one of these guys sold a stuffed animal to an adult. They're only supposed to be given out to children. Okay? Now, then you have a bunch of people who are from the same building that they all live in. Next thing you know, we've got 5 and 6 people at a time arriving saying they're volunteers, and this mongoloid-looking, retarded-looking guy comes out and says they're okay, gives them a shirt, and they go to work. My friend comes up like a wild silverback gorilla, just tries walking the hell in without talking to anybody, and then gets pissed off and tells us that his kids don't have permission to be there, that his wife, whatever you want to call her, she doesn't have permission to have the kids there, And next thing you know, everybody's running out to say that he's a volunteer. No, you need to communicate that. I don't give a damn what your problem is, Michael. I don't give a damn. If you're supposed to be volunteering, you state that. You don't say, well, blah, 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 I'm going in. You're no. You don't do that. It's stupid, wrong, and it's childish. You're 34, 35 fucking years old. Learn your place. It's not to go around busting doors down. Okay? You disrespected my wife and you disrespected me by trying to get an attitude and tell us what we should and should not do. Your kids were in there, yes. They were well protected. Whether or not they were there by your permission or not is not the issue. The issue is it's a paid event to be in. If you don't clearly state that you're there to volunteer and you've already had it prearranged, you'd have been able to walk the hell on in, no problem. But you did something wrong. You disrespected me and my wife and the organization because yes, we could have literally had you thrown out. And I don't care how hard you think you are. She would have made one call on the little walkie-talkie she had, and you would have been volunteering. You'd have been going your ass home, and if you'd have called the cops, well, your kids would have been waiting out front for you. I hate to be an ass, but you didn't act in a respectful adult manner. This isn't let's act like a pissy 13-year-old and get what we want. Real world doesn't work that way. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but it doesn't. But the mongoloid-looking guy, and I don't care if he gets offended by this or not, I really don't give a damn. He invited a bunch of people that did not need to be at this festival. They had more volunteers than what they could use. Now, if they helped clean up, yay for them. It was a whole lot harder to set it up. Because setup, if you're working with 10, 15 people, should only take a few minutes. Setup for us only took like half an hour. That's to get all the chairs, all the tables set up in the Indian Center, where the Pride Festival was. And I didn't want to set up the stage, but when I found out we had 26 minutes to get it set up, I went running with one of the coordinators, and we had it set up on time. Now, yes, there are detractors who were there at the during the parade, or what, the rally and the parade, claiming apparently they were dissing the LGBT community from being able to voice their opinion. It's unconstitutional. Yes, you have the peaceable right to protest, but you do not have the right. You do not have the right. It's not written in the Bible to shove your beliefs down somebody else's throat. Period. If that is your idea of religion, you're not reading the Bible. Period. Now, this may sound like a soapbox sermon, but I don't give a damn. Nobody should have to live in fear of a certain community. Now, the ghetto in Wichita, being over by 13th and Hillside, that white people should be afraid of. They have reason to be. There's a very violent neighborhood. On the west side of that, it's one of the most violent and crime-ridden neighborhoods in all of Wichita. You can argue the point of however much you want. I know the truth. I've lived there. You would lock your door at night because you don't want anybody opening your door and trying to rob you. But for all these people, I found out that Brownback, Huell Scamp, all these die-hard neo-Republicans, or proto-Republicans, are against gay marriage, and some of you may be against it. Guess what? We don't live in the 1950s anymore. It's time to move on. Well, that's the way my mommy and daddy raised me. Do you really want to live in a community where you have to be afraid of who you are? With the exception of chomos, rapists, and sex offenders, why should you be worried about being a cross-dresser or transgendered or gay, lesbian, queer, blah, 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 blah? I don't care. You shouldn't live in fear of me unless you piss me off. You piss me off, you've got a reason to fear. Other than that, what right do I have to make you fear me without just cause? It doesn't make sense. I have to end this one and start up another video. See you in a few.